Headquarters. Here's Fred Childers with This Week in Louisiana Politics.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Fred Childers. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Politics on your local election headquarters. After members of the public raised concerns over the Orleans Parish District Attorney recently providing resentencing for inmates in the area, the state legislature wants answers to make sure the rules were followed. Capitol reporter Shannon Heck spoke with the chairman who was leading the charge.
Louisiana lawmakers are looking for answers. In recent weeks, Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams moved to resentence a number of inmates.
It was brought to my attention that there was more than normal a lot of resentencing being done.
State Senator Jay Morris is the chairman of the Senate Judiciary C Committee, which oversees criminal justice. He says he's working out how many people were released and if all the rules were followed.
It's a fact-finding mission. And if somebody was wrongfully convicted, obviously we don't want anyone in jail that didn't commit the crime. The whole situation may lend itself to a philosophy of people not serving long sentences.
Many of the recent resentencings were done in the weeks leading up to August 1st, where a new law was put into place allowing the Attorney General to appeal post-conviction relief of this kind. In a statement, Attorney General Liz Murrill said, quote, "We are reviewing a number of other cases in which the DA, a criminal court judge, and a defense attorney improperly agreed to post-conviction relief. While we have not yet moved to intervene, we expect to do so in appropriate circumstances," end quote. Morris has called an oversight hearing on September 5th for DA Williams to testify about his actions. Governor Jeff Landry gave his support for the investigation, posting on social media in part, "The law on this issue should be applied equally and fairly for both defendants and victims in every parish. The committee will be looking into the speed in which the resentencings were done and the inmates who were granted the post-conviction relief." For your local election headquarters, I'm Shannon Hecht.
Entergy is facing some new pricing rules after the Public Service Commission voted on a package of reforms. Rates and profit margins will apply to the utility until 2026. For customers, they mean no more connection or reconnection fees, late fees reduced from 5% to 1.5%, and more low-income seniors are eligible for discounts on their bills. These changes will come at a price, though. Entergy Louisiana customers can expect to pay around 2% or $4 more on your monthly bill. Louisiana has been working diligently to get reliable internet to all people in the state. The Gumbo program is entering its second phase that holds a lot more money. Capitol reporter Shannon Hecht breaks down some of the challenges lawmakers are trying to address.
Louisiana is still working on rolling out broadband across the state. There has been some challenges reaching the most rural areas. And some cities say that during the construction of these fiber lines, there's been damage to their utilities. For the first phase of the Gumbo Broadband project, over 80% of the 88,000 locations have been given high-speed internet through the $176 million grant. Now in the second phase, the state must dole out the $1.3 billion awarded from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act by the end of this year. They have found some rural areas are not getting bids from companies, so they hope to create incentives or find other ways to make sure people are covered.
There are project areas which might have just two little locations, two addresses, where the cost of building fiber is going to be $60,000. And so in some of those cases, if there's not a taker, then we'll ensure, Rep, that we find a solution for those two folks.
Mayors and representatives for small towns say that while it is a good thing to be getting more reliable internet, there has been poor communication from contractors about when they'll be doing the work. And there have been many instances of water and gas lines being damaged while the fiber optic lines are being laid.
The parish water system, for whatever reason, either doesn't know where their lines are or maybe does a poor job of marking them. And then for the first time, we're hearing from the contractor, hey, by the way, I'm doing this work in your parish. We just hit a line.
It has revealed a greater issue of the state not having a lot of its utility lines clearly mapped out. The Commerce Committee is looking for more answers on how to better track where these utility lines are in each city and better vetting for these companies putting bids on these projects. At the Capitol for your local election headquarters, I'm Shannon Hecht.
Louisiana students are not happy with the new law banning cell phones in the classroom, so they have started a petition to revoke the decision, or at least try to. A Prairieville High School sophomore started the petition, arguing it's not fair that teachers can have their phones but not students. The petition has collected more than 1,200 signatures so far. Supporters of the ban say cell phones distract students and cause unnecessary interruptions in class. It is unclear if the petitions will cause any changes to the policy since it is state law. Bank of America applied to be a fiscal agent of the state, but Treasurer John Fleming recommended to the board that the bank be denied. The board agreed and denied Bank of America's request. Now, Fleming says he thinks the large institution is a good bank in every way, except he believes it has denied services to groups and individuals based on their political and religious affiliation, including those working for churches, oil and gas companies, farms, and manufacturers.
Bank of America has unfortunately a very sad history of discrimination against Christians. They denied services, what we call debanking. That's the key term in all this. They debanked 2 Christian organizations that provide charity work over in Africa. That makes no sense at all. You know, if you're bouncing checks or something, I would understand that. But in these cases, these are good citizens and they're good customers.
Now, he says he does not support, quote, weaponizing financial systems because of politics. And Treasurer Fleming also says it's time for Louisiana to eliminate the personal income tax. He says Louisiana is not doing great from an economic standpoint, and this kind of tax is holding the state back from growth. Alexandra Meacham reports.
So I think it's emblematic of the destination you want to move to, because if there's no personal income tax, then you automatically see benefits going forward. You know there's going to be job formation, and creation of capital investment in such states that do have no personal income tax.
State Treasurer John Fleming says a huge amount of people and companies are relocating to the South as it becomes a new economic hub, but they are bypassing Louisiana and landing in Texas, Tennessee, and Florida. He says those states do not have a personal income tax and believes eliminating it would benefit Louisiana.
I think it'd have an extremely positive effect, because what people are doing now as they move across the country, we have a very mobile population in America today. As you know, people are leaving California and New York every day, and they go, well, where are we going to go? Well, what states don't have a personal income tax? That's one of the first questions they ask.
He is pressing Governor Jeff Landry and the state legislature to bring forth a bill next fiscal session to get rid of the tax. We asked if it would only attract those with high incomes to make the move. He says it would affect wealth and non-wealth.
People who don't have wealth want jobs. People are not coming to Louisiana for job opportunities. They're going to other states. And the reason is because our regulations are too expensive, too high.
But would it be popular to pass the State House and Governor's desk?
Politicians, it's not popular at all. Politicians want more of your money to spend.
That was Alexandra Meacham reporting. Get ready to spend more money for crawfish next season. That's not great news. The state agriculture commissioner saying crawfish prices may stay very high, citing that last year's drought was more devastating than many people realize. Commissioner Mike Strain believes it'll have lasting impacts on the crawfish industry. Strain told the Press Club of Baton Rouge that the drought wiped out about 100,000 acres that crawfish farmers will have to bring back in operation at a huge cost to them.
I think you're going to see struggles in the crawfish market probably for 2 to 3 or 4 or 5 years. Why is that? That 100,000 acres got to be reseeded, right? And so at about 200 pounds an acre, at about $2.50 a pound, $2.40 a pound, that's $500 an acre that farmers got to put back, and hoping that we have a good year this year.
Crawfish farmers did receive some help when Louisiana's delegation in Congress pressured the U.S. Department of Agriculture to grant some federal emergency assistance. Leaders of Louisiana's newest city are working on their budget. St. George is looking to create revenue from taxes. We'll take a look at how they're doing it. Stay with us.